Hi, everybody, and welcome to your energy forecast for the week ahead. My name is Shannon Hugman, and I'm all about cultivating an energetic awareness. So today, this forecast is specific to the astrological or cosmic currents this week, the happenings, the astro weather, perhaps we can say. But I kind of want to come in here and first say, the planets aren't doing anything to us. We have free will. We can move forward regardless of, the currents. We can swim upstream if we want to. So I want to just take a minute and throw the ball in your court and remind myself that we have free will. We can choose to align our free will with these currents, which is my plan, and that's the reason why I bring this to you, so that you can align your free will. I just want to take a minute and really focus in on this empowering energy of you can do whatever you want to do regardless of, these planetary currents. So if it's raining outside, you can still go outside, right? You can still go to the beach. You can still do those things if you want to do them. However, maybe if you know it's going to rain, you'll bring an umbrella. So this is a week where it may be easy to fall into feeling like the planets are doing something to us. This is not necessarily a walk in the park kind of week. And so I want to sort of come to you with that information so that you don't fall into the trap of blaming these cycles, because we're not going to blame ourselves if it's raining, right? We're not going to, actually, complaining about the weather is pretty popular, especially for me. I'm a Canadian. So you can complain about the weather if you want to, but will it change it? Probably not. So there's my little spiel to begin, because this is a big, big week. And yesterday, which was Sunday, we had a new moon in the sign of Aries, and Mercury turned direct in the sign of Aries, which means Mercury retrograde is over, although we're still in the shadow period the week after. And really what I'm feeling like the energies of the last month especially, but even pretty much all of 2018, has been this idea of, let's imagine that we're in a classroom and our teacher gives us this math problem, and we never really seen this math problem before, and our teacher asks us to try to answer it on our own. She says, or they say, try to figure out how to get to the solution, and then I'll tell you how to get there. So we maybe feel like we're trying, but we're in this aimless sort of no man's land, or we're trying to do an equation and we don't know what any of the symbols are. We don't know what any of the algebra is. But like in that schoolroom, the teacher does get the group together, say, okay, what did you learn? What answer did you get to? We come together, we see how far we could have gotten without this other information, without instruction, and then the teacher's gonna explain it, right, and get our instruction. So I feel like this week is a week where we may get that teacher. Maybe it's going to come in the form of a person. Maybe you're your own teacher, if this is the teacher's an analogy. But we're going to get like a bit of a debrief over what we've been learning. We're going to get a debrief over what we've been experiencing. We can feel like we were trying to answer that long algebra question without knowing what long algebra was. But because we've tried, now our teacher is going to come in and show us how we can actually do it, right? We'll get our proper instruction. But since we sort of were like struggling through it, the fact that we struggled through it, we tried to do it on our own perhaps, gave us like a foundation. Now we remember the numbers maybe, or now we remember, we could go on and on with this, but there's this feeling of, this is a week where we're all going to bring our papers to the table, to the teacher, and say, well, this is where I got without any help. This is where I'm at without any instruction. And there's definitely an opportunity for some instruction to fall into our laps, some help, some support. But I think it's important to say that this support is coming after having had to be the ones to support ourselves. Now, Chiron is going into Aries. So if you've been watching the last couple of weeks, I've been talking all about this. Chiron moving into Aries. Chiron is an asteroid, and its mythology is the wounded healer. It's where we have our own personal wounds and where we heal ourselves. And then as we heal ourselves, we become an example of healing, and we inspire others to heal themselves. So it's self-healing. Chiron switches signs every 8 years. Every 8 years. And whatever sign Chiron is in is the tone of this self-healing. So Chiron's been in Pisces for the last 8 years, since April 2010. And on the 17th, tomorrow, Chiron moves into Aries for the next 8 years. So this is about our healing journeys and looking back over where have we healed, or where have we, maybe we're not on the healing side of the coin. Maybe we're still on the wound side of the coin. That's all right too. But there's this definitely like this tone of like nostalgia. But again, back to that teacher review, we're looking back over how we were trying, looking back over what we did, and then getting some instruction for how we can take our own self-wisdom, the things we've learned through maybe our struggles or challenges, or like success. It doesn't have to be hard times, although hard times are kind of those very refined times where we learn a lot of wisdom, and getting some instruction to take into the next chapter. So Chiron in Aries says, it's not a bad thing to be full of ourselves. It's not a bad thing to say, hey, this is who I am and this is what I want to share. Although we live in a world that sort of says, oh, you're full of yourself. You shouldn't be confident, because if you're not confident, I can sell you this. Or your hair doesn't look very good, so buy this gel, right? It's like our economy, especially here in the Western world, runs on people not feeling empowered, right? Runs on people not feeling full of themselves and confident in themselves. And so this is very much our curriculum for the next 8 years, of really breaking away from any sort of needs that we feel we require in order to stand on our own 2 feet, really any crutches being pulled out, and instead saying, you are in charge. So yeah, this is a week of the balls getting thrown back in our court. We are in charge. And this doesn't mean we're going to all be jumping for joy, because if we've undergone, a painful experience, or we're in a painful experience, relationship, and it's like we're being served some sort of crappy food. I'll use this analogy. Let's say, for example, you were cooking all day and you were, making this new recipe, and you were trying it all out and trying new things, but you didn't have the recipe. You were just sort of taste testing, putting this here and there, and you sit down at the end of the day, and for some reason I want to say meatloaf. You're making a meatloaf. I don't like meatloaf, so I don't know where that's coming from. But you sit down and your meatloaf doesn't taste good. And you're the one who made it. We're the ones who made it. It's my fault that my meatloaf doesn't taste good. So it can be a week of kind of swallowing some like not yummy meatloaf, and you're the one to blame. And I don't want to say that in like, haha, blame yourself, because obviously the more self-compassion we can sprinkle on something, the better, the better. But it's a week of maybe swallowing some hard pills, or loving your meatloaf, being like, this meatloaf freaking rocks. I'm so excited that I made this. I'm feeling proud and empowered. There's no right or wrong way. But knowing, again, moving forward, we're going to get some recipes. The sun moves into Taurus on the 19th. So we're going to start to feel, I think, more centered, more grounded. It kind of felt very fast-paced the past month, very fast-paced, but also like I almost feel like I want to say the past month was kind of like a VCR, and you can you press rewind on the VCR and the whole movie just rewinds. So it's this idea of fast pace, but in a backwards way is kind of where we've been at. Like, it's rewinding fast, but it's not moving forward, it's rewinding. And so our minds and our physical, our will can get angry about that. So I think the VHS has finally stopped its rewinding. The cassette is rewound. We can return the VHS to Blockbuster. We can say, that movie was good, I'm glad I picked it, or that movie sucked, I'm the one who picked it, and we can get a new movie. And we can bring it home and start this process again. So the tides are turning, the game is changing in a really, really, really great, empowering way. I'm excited. I would love to hear how you're feeling this week. I'd love to hear if you have any questions. You can always write in the comments. I always come back and read them. So if you're watching the replay, feel free to post anything in the comments. I will definitely respond. I appreciate you all. I also upload this to YouTube, so you can find me on YouTube, Shannon Hugman. If you want to see me throughout the week, I just pop in here now on Facebook on Mondays, but if you want to see me throughout the week, come join me on Instagram, same handle, also Twitter, for more daily stuff. So if you want a one-on-one session, you can book it at shannonhugman.com. And if you are in the Huron County area, Definitely Huron County is not Toronto. If you're in the Huron County area, specifically Goderich, tonight I start a new course at the Yoga Den called Follow the Moon, and it's a 4-week course, and so every week we're going to follow the lunar cycle. So tonight we're focusing on creating intentions, setting intentions, moving forward, and that starts at 7 p.m. at the Yoga Den. So you're invited, but if you are not local, feel free to reach out to me with any of your questions, comments, concerns, or if you want to book a one-on-one session, go to shannonhugman.com. Thank you all so much, and I will see you on Monday.